Hello and welcome in the 13th episode. In today's episode we will implement the winning pop-up. So if you start the game, we currently have our pause pop-up and the game over pop-up, but we does not have the window which will be displayed whenever we solved all of the Sudoku board. So today we're gonna implement this. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider to do so and turn on the notification. If you like this episode, hit the like. And if you have any problem with implementing any of the code from this episode, please leave the comment below and I will try to help you out. Okay, so let's get started. Let's open our project and let's go to our scenes folder and then open the game scene. So the first thing we will do is we will actually reveal all of the components from the canvas. Right click, UI, and then panel. And let's name this panel win pop-up. Okay, so now let's right click on our win pop-up and then UI image. And I will name this image background. Okay, and then let's go to our graphics folder, then win pop-up, and then let's drag and drop this background onto the source image. And then you can set this, press this button set native. But if you don't have this button here, you can input the size of the images manually to the width and the height. So I'm just gonna press it. And then I will set the scale to be 0.85 and 0.85. Okay, so we have our background is cover almost the whole the whole game. Let's add the title now. So I will just right click on the win pop-up again, UI image, and I will name this image title. Let's drag this well done writing onto the source image and then click set native again. Okay, and I will set the same scale, so 0.85 and 0.85, and let's move it up. So it's going to be somewhere here. Okay. So let's right click on our win pop-up again and then add another image, and I will name this image tick. Okay, and let's find this tick. I think I did not included this tick. So if you see the reference image, we have this tick in, but I did not include it in the package. So I just simply forgot to do that. So you can use any icon you can, or you can just leave it this space blank. I will just for now leave it blank. So let's instead of this tick, let's rename it to time. And I will just drag and drop the time texture onto the source image, set native, and set the scale 0.85 and 0.85. Okay, and I'll just move it a bit up. Okay, the next thing is let's right click on the win pop-up, UI text, and I will just leave it as a new text, and I will just change this font size to be something bigger, maybe 70. Okay, and let's resize the width and the height. So I will set the 300 for the width and the 100 for the height. So the text is displayed below the time. So this is the text where we're gonna display our current time. So I just name this object current time. Okay, and then now let's add some buttons. So right click on the win pop-up, UI button, and this is gonna be the play again. And then let's drag and drop the play again texture onto the source image, set native, and then we can actually remove the text. We don't need the text, and I will just move this button down to be there. I think we can set the same scale, so 0.85 and 0.85. Move it a bit up. Okay, and then I will just right click on the win pop-up, UI button, and this button was gonna be the exit. And then let's drag and drop this exit texture onto the source image, and then set native, and then change the scale 0.85 and 0.85. Okay, and then let's remove this text again, and let's move this button down so it's going to be below the play again. Okay, so this is our win pop-up. So this pop-up will be displayed whenever we complete all of the Sudoku. But before we move to the implementing actually the behavior of this pop-up, let's change this background. So I will just select the background, and I will change the color from the white to be a bit darker. It's actually not the background, it's a panel itself. So let's select the win pop-up and change this color to be a bit darker. And then you can manipulate this alpha value. Okay, so I want to have something like that. Okay, so the win pop-up is like in the center. Okay, let's save everything, and then let's go to our scripts folder, and then right click, create C# script, and I will name this script game1. Okay, let's open the script. Okay, before we start implementing the script, let's add some more game events. So I will just open the game event class, and right at the bottom I will just duplicate this the stars to have some separator. Okay, and then let's add public, delegate, void, board completed. Okay, and then next one will be public static event board completed on board completed. Okay, and then we need to put the method, so public static void on board completed method, and this method will not accept any parameter. And then we want to check if on board completed is not equal to null. Then we want to do on board completed with the braces. Okay, so we want to call all of the functions which are going to subscribe to this event. Okay, let's save this class now, and let's go back to our game1 script. So inside our game1 script, we want to first of all have some public variables. So we just remove all of this, and I will just remove the update function as we won't need it. So right at the top I will add public game object win pop-up, and then public text. As you see, the text is not recognized. This is because we need to inherit from we need to start using the Unity UI. So right at the top I will put using Unity engine.ui. Okay, and now we can use the text type. So text, and that's gonna be clock text. Okay, so in the start method we want to call win popup dot set active to be equal to false. So we just want to deactivate the win popup, false. Okay, and the next is gonna be clock text dot text will be equal to clock dot instance dot get current time text dot text. Okay, so you want to get the current time from the game, and then below I will just put a private function. So private void on board completed. So this function will be called whenever we complete our board. So we just want to do simple thing. We just want to call the win popup dot set active to be equal to true. Okay, so we just want to activate our win popup. And then of course we want to assign ourselves to the event which we created a few minutes ago. So right below I will call the private void on enable okay, and then below I will just call private void on disable. Okay, so in those two functions, first of all, on enable we want to call the game events dot on board completed plus equal, and we want to get this on board completed and assign to it. Okay, and now we just copy this line of code and paste it in the on disable. And make sure you just change this from the plus to minus. So we want to unsubscribe to minus. So we want to unsubscribe ourselves from this event. Make sure you do that. Okay, and I think that's it for this class. So we have our class to actually display our pop-up, the win pop-up, but there is no one who actually created the onboard completed method. So this event will never be triggered. So let's quickly fix that. Okay, so I will just open the Sudoku grid class now, and in this class I will just scroll right at the bottom, and I will just add another function. It's gonna be private void checkboard completed int number. So we want to pass this number in because we want to attach this function to the event, to the on update square number event, and that event is accepting, if you see in our game events class, on update square number method is accepting the one integer parameter. So if you want to subscribe to this event, you have to provide the same number of the parameters inside the class. So that's what I'm gonna do. So if we go back to the Sudoku grid, and let's finish implementing this checkboard completed function. So inside this function we're gonna do for each var square in grid squares. So we want to look through all of the squares, and then we want to take the component. So var comp will be equal to square. Okay, I just made a spelling mistake. Square dot get component, and we want to get the grid square. Okay, and then if the comp dot let's actually go to the grid square and see if we have that function grid square. Okay, we don't have a function actually to check if the correct number is set, so let's quickly create it. So in our grid square class, right at the top, I will add another public function. So public bool is correct number set, and this function will simply return if number will be equal to, make sure you put double equal sign, correct number. Okay, and that's it. So it's a very simple function, and it's just gonna check if our current number is equal to the correct number. Okay, and now let's switch back to our Sudoku grid again, and then let's finish implementing this function. So we want to check if the comp dot is correct number set will be equal to false we wanna do return. So we just want to return from the function. If any of the square does not have the correct number, we just want to return from this function. And then otherwise, so if we didn't return at this point, we want to call the game event. So the game events dot on board completed method. So we want to just indicate that we have completed this method. We have completed our board. Okay. So now let's grab this method. And let's go to our onEnable function. And inside the onEnable function, I will just call the game events dot on update square number plus equal. And then let's paste this function which we just created. So check board completed. Okay. So every time we're gonna set the number, we wanna execute this logic to see if we actually completed our grid. And then let's grab this line of code from here, just copy it, and then go to the onDisable function, paste it in, and make sure you put the minus. So we want to unsubscribe from this event onDisable. Okay. So in order to check if our function is actually working, if everything is fine, I'm not very good in solving the Sudoku game, so I'm not even gonna try to do that. Instead, we're gonna provide like a temporary function for us to solve the Sudoku grid. So I will just scroll down in at the end of the file, and below this check for board completed, I will add another function which is gonna be public void solve Sudoku, and inside this function I will do the for each var square in grid squares, and then for each square I want to get the var comp will be equal to get square. I made again the same spelling mistake, so it's going to be square dot get component, and we wanted to get the grid square, and then I want to do the comp dot set correct number, but I don't want to provide any parameter. So let's go quickly to our Sudoku grid, Sudoku square, sorry, grid square, and then let's find this set correct number. Okay, so this function is with the parameter, so I'm just gonna copy the name of this function, set correct number, and paste it below. And we want to have the same function overloaded without the parameters, so I will just put things like that. And then the only thing which we need to do is setting our number, so number will be equal to correct number. Okay, so we just want to assign the correct number to our number, and then below that I want to do the set node number value 0, and I just want to display text. Okay, so make sure you put all of this implementation in, and then we're gonna use this function in our grid square, in our Sudoku grid. So switch back, and as you see, I have used already this function, so it's just gonna display the correct results. And in our solve Sudoku, the last thing we want to call our checkboard completed function. Okay, so right after the for loop, I will call the check board completed with the parameter 0 or whatever you pass. It doesn't really matter because this parameter is not used. Okay, so I will just save everything, and now let's go back to our Unity. Okay, so first of all, in our game scene, I will just select our win pop-up and then disable it, and then select the main camera, and let's find our game 1 script and drag and drop it into the main camera. Okay, and now we need to provide a win pop-up, so I'm just gonna grab our win pop-up and then drop it into the win pop-up, And then let's apply the clock text as well. So the clock text is gonna be our current time. So I just drag it and then drop it here. Okay, so that should work. And now we need to have a way to actually trigger our event. So I will just select the canvas and then right click, UI button. Okay, and this is gonna be like a debug, the book button. And I just make the size maybe, I don't know, 100 by 100. Okay, and this button is gonna be actually, I will just move it here and then change the color to be red or whatever color you like. I don't really care. So this button will be just solving our Sudoku. So I will just add on click. I just click this small plus here and then drag and drop our grid. Find the grid component and then drag it into the object. And then from the functions, I will select the Sudoku grid and then solve Sudoku. Okay, and that's pretty much it for now. So let's go to our scene folder, make sure you save everything and then go back to main menu and let's test these changes. So let's press play and then play, easy. And if we press this button, we have our well done screen and the time is 000, but there is no implementation on those buttons. So let's quickly actually put the implementation for display again and then exit. So I will switch back to our game scene, go to canvas, win pop-up. So let's select our play again button and then let's scroll to our on-click events. I will click this small plus and then I will drag and drop our win pop-up onto the object, and then from the functions I will select the game object and then set active and make sure this checkbox is unchecked. Okay, so we're gonna deactivate our win pop-up and then let's click this small plus again, and now we need to drag and drop our main camera and then from the functions I will select the menu buttons and then load scene, and let's load the same scene again, so it's gonna be the game scene. So literally we're just gonna reload the scene. Okay, so everything should go back to normal on the same level on the exit button. So let's select the exit button and on click event I will just click the small plus, and then what we want to do, we want to just grab our main camera and then from the function select the menu buttons, load scene, and we want to put the main menu. Okay, and then now let's save everything. So now when we go back to main menu and start our game again, let's press play, easy. Let's, I don't know, put some number. Let's solve everything. Okay, well done. So seems like our timer is not displaying the correct time. Let's start again. Okay, so we have the 003. Let's solve it. Yes, we don't have the correct time displayed. So this is because we probably make mistake in our script. So go back. Let's go back to our scripts folder, and then game 1. Just open this script again. And yes, we just try to access the text, assigning the text on the start. So instead of doing that, let's just copy this line of code and then add it on our onboard completed. Okay, so after we activated the win pop-up, we want to set the text to the current time. Okay, let's save everything. And now let's go back to the Unity again and start our game. Press play, easy. Okay, 003. And we have the correct timer. So if we press play again and now, we have our grid empty and the timer started from 0. So let's press this one again and then exit. We're going back to the main menu. Okay, and everything seems to be working fine. So When you're gonna release this game, make sure you just disable the debug button. So you just simply can go to the scene, game scene, in the canvas, select the debug button and then deactivate it, or just simply delete it, because this is just for the testing purposes, so you're not wasting time to actually solving the Sudoku. Okay, so that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again in the next episode.